But I have a quarterback that I think will ascend. Maybe not as high as Joe Burrow, maybe not as high as Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson or Patrick Mahomes, but a guy who I believe will be a tier 2 quarterback when the Athletic does their poll next season, a top 10 quarterback. That is a lefty, Michael Penix. Here's the case. Michael Penix has a hose. This is not new information. Watch a Washington game back from when he was in college. Watch an Indiana game from when he was in college. He has a hose. He can move a little bit too. So that's an upgrade over Kirk Cousins. What Michael Penix does with the football, he slings that thing. And he is going to open up the Zach Robinson offense in Atlanta. He is an elite wide receiver, a top 10 wide receiver in Drake London. He's going to be an all-pro this season. Darnell Mooney was just shy of 1,000 yards. Last season, he missed week 18. Bijan out of the backfield. He's also a receiving threat. Is Kyle Pitts going to break out this season? I don't know. Ask your fantasy football podcast for that one. But Penix, here's a stat for you. He had 10 big-time throws last season. That doesn't jump off the page or anything. That's fewer than Tua. That's fewer than Aiden O'Connell. But the rate at which Michael Penix makes awesome things happen is higher than anyone else in the NFL. And now part of that's that he played only a couple games and he had a great game against Carolina. But to me, it does matter that he put that on film. He showed that. He was spectacular in Carolina versus Atlanta. It's truly spectacular. One of the best games of the season. Ironically, the second best game of week 18 behind our Lord and Savior, Joe Milton. But he is a special talent throwing the football. You have a full off season to maneuver the offense around him. Last season, you had the Cousins debacle. He starts throwing the ball to the other team a bunch. Newsflash, you don't want to do that. Penix is going to be upgraded in that regard. And you can actually run a real and legitimate NFL offense with Michael Penix. You can move your offense was entirely based out of the pistol last year because Kirk Cousins couldn't reach his landmarks to hand the ball off to Bijan Robinson. He was not fast enough physically. So, you know, the Jimmy G, the Brock Purdy, the outside zone, you get out on the boot. Kirk Cousins could not do that. Michael Penix can. Now, it is an adjustment moving him under center. I know that. But Michael Penix, he's been through a lot of football. Back to the COVID year at Indiana, he had the Hoosiers as a top 10 team, played at Washington, competed for a national championship game. Go back, watch Washington versus Texas. If you have any doubt about Penix's arm talent, watch that game or watch the Carolina game to end week 18. Special arm, some great receivers around him. I think Mooney's a top 40 guy. Again, he had almost 1,000 yards last season with Kirk Cousins as his quarterback for most of the season. Competent tight end, top 25 tight end, Kyle Pitts. Drake London, top 10 guy. I'm high on Michael Penix. He's going to be a top 10 quarterback by the end of the season.
All right. So I think my initial response to this is, you know how I feel about like second year players. This is the one issue where in a way you almost can't do that though, because even he didn't have like a full rookie year. He played like 5-6 games. So it is a little bit interesting to be like, hey, maybe we don't have as much film and maybe he is going to have like a really good year. My question becomes just that though. If he played like 5-6 games this past season. So coming into your technical second year, like, is he still going to be able to produce the same? Like, a lot of people, like we alluded to it earlier. I'm not sure if this was a pre-show or like Joe Flacco had like 4 amazing games. Like a lot of people have like these stretches where it's like, oh my goodness, Tommy DeVito had an amazing stretch.
Okay.
Like
the film did not compare the film did not.
But I'm just saying it's just like right. But I'm saying it's just like right. Like you could have a great stretch at games, but how is that how he's gonna be able to play for the long period of time? That's to be seen. The talent is 1,000% there. I'm not trying to doubt that, but I do think that not necessarily I'm not sure if humbling is the way that I want to say it, but I think that him coming into this season, it's going to be a little bit different than him being able to be the way that he was like for portions of the year during those like 5-6 game stretches that he had last year. On top of that, top 10 is not necessarily extreme. I do understand it, but the same thing that I always say, in order to put someone on, you have to take someone off. And I know like you do yours and like tiers and stuff like that. It's not really just like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so on and so forth list, but in order to be able to get him to be there, someone has to come off, and I'm not really too sure who. Like Michael Penix would have to play on a certain level to be able to take someone off of that list.
Here, Kwasi, I'll help you out. And Splash, this is a question to you, but I'll help Kwasi's point out. Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow.
Okay,
Jaden
stop.
Daniels.
Wait, stop. Okay, stop. End the list. That is
Tier.
That is to me. Those are untouchable. I am not trying to tell you that Michael Penix will be better than one of those guys.
No, I'm just going down my top 10 list because the headline is Michael Penix becomes top 10. I'm going to hold you verbatim to this.
This is a tier that I think Penix will be in, and I've made this comparison before. If I choose a team and you choose a team, and I have the number one pick, and I'm drafting a team, and I take a tier 2 quarterback, I have confidence in you as the other team drafting that you will draft a better team. You're going to have the same level of quarterback, and you'll have minor upgrades throughout the rest of the roster. Now, if I have Lamar and you had a tier 2 guy, I'm confident that I win because I have Lamar Jackson and you don't, or I have Joe Burrow or whatever. So continue.
Of course. Okay, so I'll even skip to the bottom list here because I have Matthew Stafford as my 9th overall quarterback, injuries aside, healthy, right? All its prefs on health. And I have Jaden Daniels as my 10th. And there's no realm where at this moment in time, Michael Penix replaces Jaden Daniels.
Okay.
On my top 10.
Sure.
I just can't see it. And as Kwasi already alluded to, it's very, very small sample size. The cannon's there. You know, a lot of guys coming with cannons. You know, if I'm going to go way back, I think Ryan Leaf even had a cannon. You know what I mean? So it's
no work ethic though, and he went to the wrong Washington school.
And fair enough. And and Drake London, definitely top tier receiver. Darnell Mooney,
really good wide receiver too.
2A, you know, he'd be 2A, maybe 1 on some teams, maybe, you know, depending on how bad that receiver room is.
Not with Justin Fields.
No, we have a number 1 and nothing else. More jet shots. Here they come.
But I do think he can be better than Stafford. I can plant my flag if we're doing this 1 out, 1 in. Stafford to me is a top 10 guy right now. Again, I don't love arguing quarterbacks. I think it's low hanging fruit.
Yeah, and it's very subjective to the team you're on and yes. That all. So, I'm everything being equal. I just can't put him in this top 10.
Okay.
I don't even know if I'd put him ahead of Dak, to be honest with you, at this point.
Ooh,
okay. Dak wasn't great last season. He was great in 23. I'm not going to take 23 away from him. Last season, Dak had some issues. And to me, not to use a Chris Broussard line,
Jordan Love. I
think he could be better than Purdy. I think he could be better than Jordan Love. I think those are guys to me that are closer to 12 than top 10.
Okay.
But there's fluidity here. So not to steal a Chris Broussard line, but I think the second tier is fluid. From 5, I have Jalen. To 15, 16, that's the Genos, the Purdys, the Kylers, Dax down. Herbert, Stafford, Love, Purdy. I said Purdy, Goff. They're all in this cluster around 10. I think Penix will at least be worthy of a conversation. Stroud as well. Penix will be in the conversation to be a top 10 quarterback.
So
sorry, go ahead.
Appreciate it, Vijay. I think for me, it's like I agree with what you're saying when it comes to ranking quarterbacks. I don't think it's really fair to just be like, oh, like this person better, because there's so much more context to it. But then I do it this way: put Penix on the Rams, put Penix on the Lions, put Penix
Sean McVay. Yes.
Now we're getting to the nuances, right?
That's what I'm like. I feel like put like that. I don't know about if you put him on these different teams, is he good? Like maybe yes, but again, 5-game sample size. I don't think he's going to be able to right away be a top 10 to 15 quarterback yet. I think that he's on his way being there. I do think that when it came to a lot of the quarterbacks that we saw in that draft class, he proved himself to be obviously Daniels being number 1, but one of the better ones for sure. But top 10, I just feel like if you put him on in different teams in certain situations, like the way Atlanta ended up doing it, they got a lot of criticism at the start of the season, but it did end up being pretty smart. Start with Kirk. Even though we just drafted a quarterback, what are you guys doing? But it worked out for the best. It looked at, but now we have Kirk Cousins just in limbo. We don't really understand, but you have Penix who's just able to just go in and show out. And coming into this season, we'll see what he does. But again, 5 games, 6 game sample size. Like I know it's one of those two. I just keep on flopping between the two.
Fair.
But it's like
No, that's fair.
we don't know what he's going to be able to go out and do past this time. So it has left to be seen.
Sure. 5 games, 3 starts, and the raw stats, he had 3 interceptions. That doesn't look great. He had a rating of 78.9. That also doesn't look great, but watch the film.
I'm sure the other teams will be too.
Yeah. Yeah, watching the film is one thing. I just watched the film of like, I'll even throw Baker Mayfield up there,
okay. Oversight on my part. Baker's the top 10, clearly a top 10 guy.
Baker has definitely got to be on that list too. If you had maybe said 15 to 20-ish, there'd be a case. But for me, top 10 there's just too many good quarterbacks right now in the league.
Sure.
None playing East Rutherford right now.
Oof. Well, at least you have Justin Fields.
Yes.
All right, any other topics we want to cover, fellas?
I think that's good. Unless you got anything, Vijay?
I know I got my one Lions shot at you, Kwasi. And finally, after 2 weeks. No, I think we covered some good takes, good topics today, boys. I mean, a lot of fluidity, as Splash just said, a lot of good, healthy debate too, because there could be a case made either way, except for the Jets being 9-8, according to the two of you. I think any of our topics could have went either way. It was a productive day.
Yeah, right. Sounds good to me. So that was the U formation, fellas. You can check us out U Stadium on Twitter or X, whatever. Instagram. We have an app. You can download it. It's been next to Vijay's face the whole time. So bottom right, just check it out. So just scan your phone or take a screenshot, and that should work if you're watching on mobile. So, yeah. I'm Splash. Shout out Kwasi. Shout out Vijay. We'll see you next week.
See you next week, guys. Feel free to roast us on any of our takes.
That comes with the territory.
Yeah. Yes, sir.